Was
What's
that?
up? I always love seeing myself on camera. I just love it, man. I get excited every time. I get excited every time. Every
Really?
time. I
Uh,
just, you know,
it's funny. Every time I see you on the camera, I get less than excited.
I'm
I don't
sure
know what
most
it
people
is.
do. You can tell
So,
by our viewership.
yeah, right. That's because I'm out of money to pay people to watch.
That's right.
But that's besides the point. So we're supposed to have a guest, and I was really looking forward to this guest. And even today, I spoke to her today. So I'm hoping that maybe she just got a little bit mixed up on her time. And if she does decide to show up, well, we're going to welcome her in
Yeah.
and we'll just go from there. But that leaves me with, oh shit, I don't have anything planned if someone didn't show up.
No, but you know what though? Interestingly enough, our guest was a medium, right?
Yes.
Medium and had done a little stand up work,
Supposedly, yeah.
supposedly, right?
Yeah.
So we could talk about I mean we could talk about that stuff.
Yeah, I put out a message on this Facebook group that I belong to, and it was requesting comedians. I wanted to get some people. You didn't have to be a professional comedian, but if you've ever done stand up, open mic, whatever. I was trying to get some of those folks on, and the last couple of folks that we've had on replied to that and really had nothing to do with comedy, except our guest last week. But it's just kind of weird. But I am a big stand-up comedian fan. Both you and I, Lou, have a desire to do an open mic night
Yeah,
at
some night,
some
yeah.
point. Um, as a matter of fact, I just went and saw Tony Hinchcliffe last week. Connie and I did. Um, I'm a huge fan of the Kill Tony podcast on YouTube. And yeah, I've already told you about it, Lou. So I'm sorry if I'm going to bore you with this.
No,
But
no.
for those that don't know, it's a podcast that's live every Monday night, but it's not really a podcast. It's a huge comedy show, is what it is. There's about 200 plus people sign up, put their names in a bucket with the hopes of getting their name pulled to come on stage and do a 60 minutes, or I'm sorry, a 60-second spot. Whether they bomb or whether they're good, it doesn't matter because the best part comes after that spot when Tony interviews them. That's when the real comedy comes out. Um, and he'll have special guests on there. Roseanne Barr's been on there a bunch of times. Shane Gillis, I don't know if you know who that is. He's the dude that got fired from SNL before he even got a chance to be on SNL.
Huh.
So for quote unquote racist
Yeah, yeah.
things he said on a podcast, right? So they tried to cancel him. It backfired. He's huge now, man. He's opening, headlining, all over the country. In fact, he just hosted SNL a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Oh, there's been there's the SNL has shot themselves in the foot on multiple occasions, starting with Norm Macdonald
Oh
firing
yeah,
him and then bringing him back 3 weeks later as guest host.
right.
Because he's so hot.
And he shredded him.
Yeah.
Shredded him. But you know what they say SNL stands for, right?
No.
Still not funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think I did hear that once. I
Did
think I
you?
did hear that once.
Still not funny live or whatever.
They're terrible. I mean, back in the day they were good. But nowadays it's just too preachy. I don't even want to watch because because it's I have I get upset thinking about what if I'm gonna get upset. And so I don't even I've wiped it out, right? Because just even thinking about it makes me angry.
Yeah. Well, if it wasn't so obviously biased and one-sided, but even with that, because in my mind, if shit's funny, it's funny, right? I'm gonna laugh. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if it's a Trump or a Biden or whoever. It doesn't matter if it's funny. It's funny. However, um, it's not funny. What they're putting out, it's not funny, man.
No.
For
And I
either
think their
side.
numbers show it.
Yeah, but it's a shame because it used to be a great show. But
Yeah. And
anyway,
Alan Zweibel, he wrote a book, Laugh Lines. He was one of the original writers brought in by Lorne back in the 75.
huh,
Um, when all those guys came in, and he believes, and he's been interviewed on Dana Carvey's podcast, and he's the same thing he wrote in his book. His story hasn't changed, but he believes when John Belushi showed up on the cover of Time magazine, that ruined Saturday Night Live when he showed up without the rest of the cast, because
Ah,
then it no longer became the place to be. It became a stopping point.
right.
He said, and that's when it got ruined. That's when people started, not collaborating and looking for their own ways. And
There's something to be said for that, I think.
he believes it. I mean, people disagree, and they have talks and whatever, but he believes firmly that the air, the way he says it, just everything sort of changed when that cover hit the street. He said like it just didn't feel the same.
I really liked Saturday Night Live. Even in the 70s when I watched it with my parents, I was really too young to get a lot of it.
Sure.
But the slapstick comedy of John Belushi and Chevy Chase,
Yeah.
that's, uh, that's always funny at any age, really, somebody falling through a desk or something, how Chevy Chase would always, you know, trip on whatever.
Very physical, playing
Yes,
Gerald Ford.
yeah.
He would
So
imitate Ford because Ford was an athlete and tripped once or something, right?
right,
Like what, didn't that happen? Or
something like that, but, yeah, so at that age, there was still something that I could appreciate and laugh at, and then in the '80s, when I started getting old enough to really kinda get a lot of the humor, that was great. Eddie Murphy on there, and Dana Carvey and
oh yeah,
man, they were just
Dennis Miller.
Dennis
The
Miller.
news, he made that. The news report, Dennis Miller made that.
Yeah, and then even in the early '90s, it was still pretty good, you got Chris Farley, David Spade, and Chris Rock. I
Yeah.
mean,
Do
y
you remember Dennis Miller's HBO show?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He used to tell the story on his radio show, and I don't know if he said it recently, but he's told this story multiple times about when he got that slot on HBO. He got a call from Carson and just said, "Good luck, kid,"
"What's up, Bear?"
because
Right.
he was going to get murdered by. He said, and Carson just murdered him every night. Just murdered him every night. He said, just the ratings weren't even close.
Yeah.
He said, and he said, "You're up against Carson." He's like, "I'm surprised we survived as long as we did." He said, "You're not." He's like, "We could curse. We thought, that might help.
Mhm.
Didn't."
I wasn't I guess, a loyal watcher of the show. I watched a couple episodes. They weren't bad.
No, no, no. I thought I loved it. But I'm just saying, like, he just was talking about how, like like when we're talking titans of the industry,
Right.
Johnny Carson, he even admitted, like, Carson called him, said, "Good luck, kid," like, because he just knew his fame was too much. Like he just what he was saying about the Carson call, if I may just backpedal just a little bit for context, he was lovingly referring to the Carson call. Like Carson called him to wish him good luck because he knew his fame was so big he wasn't even going to get off the ground, and it
Mhm.
would and it wouldn't be Carson's doing anything on purpose.
Right.
So it was like a friendly call, and he said, "Man, that's when he knew he was in trouble, man. That's when it hit." He said, and then sure enough, man, week after week, they were just getting pounded in the ratings
Well,
because Carson's a Titan.
if I'm not mistaken, Dennis Miller had done a couple spots on Carson.
Yeah. Oh, that was the route back then. You toured clubs till you got on Carson, and then got your comedy show.
Yeah.
Like that was or oh, he used to he used to bitch about this all the time. I was a very loyal Dennis Miller fan. I used to download the podcast in Japan and listen to it
Oh,
day late.
wow. Damn.
The Friday episodes, because the Friday episodes would have Norm Macdonald guest
Oh,
hosting, and they were hilarious. Or they'd have a bit with Norm Macdonald that was hilarious.
Norm was one of the greatest underrated comedians ever.
Oh yeah, but before we switch to Norm, though, and I'll finish with this on Dennis. But Dennis Miller, and I don't remember this, but Dennis Miller, and he's bitter about it to this day. He got, there were a couple routes, right? The Carson route, get your show everything. There was one other route to get to Carson, right? It was not just the clubs, but Star Search. Sinbad beat Dennis
Oh,
Miller.
yeah.
He lost
Oh,
to
yeah.
Sinbad. He's so mad about that. He's like, I lost to Sinbad. Can you believe?
Wow.
He lost. Dennis Miller lost Star Search to Sinbad.
Let it go, dude.
For those of you who don't know who Sinbad is, yeah, that's why he's mad.
But you know what? If he would have won, he might not be as famous as he is now.
you know,
Where's
you're
Sinbad?
right. You're 100% right.
Where's Sinbad? Who's Sinbad? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean, and that's why Dennis Miller was always mad about it. He's like, "I lost to Sinbad," because he always thought it was like, like a rigged vote, like
Well, it may very well have been, but,
yeah.
you know,
But he did alright for
God,
himself.
sometimes, when you lose something like that, you really end up winning, and he's a prime example.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he shouldn't he needs let it go, Dennis. That shit's oh, look, you're way more famous now. Nobody knows who Sinbad is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, um, but yeah, Norm, man, getting back to Norm, um, so underappreciated, man. I wish I would have paid more attention to him back in the 90s.
Oh, yeah, he was one of my he so I was on his case early, because of an accident, because a complete accident. Um, After Saturday Night Live, do you remember what used to come on? Evening at the Improv,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
right? So, my parents happened to fall asleep, so I happened to get to watch Saturday Night Live. And then I happened to watch Evening at the Improv, which would be on at about, if I recall correctly, 11:30 Eastern Time. That would come on, and there would be cursing. No F-bombs, but they would allow cursing. And the very first Evening at the Improv that I watched was Norm Macdonald.
Oh,
And he
wow.
and I didn't know it at the time, but I was watching, it's on Peacock, you watch old episodes, so I'm watching old episodes, and the very same bit that I remember, um, was Norm Macdonald, right? I learned this, like, several years ago, which is why I ended up staying on him as a fan. Remember I was telling you about the, Netflix episode he did on the computer that they found in this closet?
Oh,
Yeah, see, I've seen all the specials and everything, right? Even the one
damn.
from the closet, right? Well, anyway, so I tune into the Evening at the Improv, and there's this guy, and in the classic style, he's he's like, "I love people who own those dogs, those killer dogs. I love 'em. He's looking at him like, hey, you, hey, fetch my slippers. Go get my slippers. Hey, man, while you're there, get the newspaper." He's like
That's pretty good, man.
he's going these killer dogs. They're just looking up at you like I'll rip your throat out, right?
That's
Uh,
pretty good, dude.
why don't you get my water? Dude, it had me dying how he was talking about killer dogs. And
That
anyway,
I'm gonna need you to do that again because
oh man, some other time maybe, yeah.
um,
But he just had me dying laughing with that killer dog routine.
that is funny. You know, I just realized something. I, we had a power surge about an hour before the show started, and I'm just now realizing it really screwed everything up
Oh
be,
yeah.
because we're live. We were live. We're still live, I believe. Um, but it was on the Nostalgically Hip podcast. So I'm in the
So we
process
had a
right.
viewer?
We had a viewer, but I'm trying to fix it now.
Oh, Bear. Bear's in the room. What's up, buddy?
My
What's up,
man
buddy? I'm
Bear.
typing it out. There you go.
So if it's not one thing, it's another. You know what I mean?
I hear you, man, but we're broadcasting, people are
Yeah,
listening.
yeah.
So, yeah. How about Norm Macdonald's Dirty Work movie?
Yeah. Wow. All I remember is that the one with getting my nose bit off by some Saigon whore?
Yes, absolutely. Chris Farr. Yes. Yeah, that is the one. When he's like, they were gonna have a bar fight, and he wanted to play the Rolling Stones. He's like, yeah, 3-5-7, and he hits like 8, and it's, and it's like the Carpenters and barely just begun. Something I forget what it was. I haven't seen that movie forever.
That's a
Yes,
great.
yes, freedom. Thank God it is Friday. But
Yes.
but yeah, man, the Dirty Work was definitely a comedic classic. I think. Um, I don't know why he didn't go into more movies. I think his conservative views put him at odds with a lot of people.
I'm sure.
He was a big poker player,
I did not know that.
huge
What's up,
poker
Billy?
player. He would play for the big pots, like he would do well, like celebrity poker's like huge. That like he's down in Hawaii, playing in the tournaments one time. Dennis called him.
Really?
Oh yeah, he
Wow.
was a big time poker player and good at it.
He had small parts in Adam Sandler movies, but I
Oh yeah,
loved them. I
yeah.
loved them, man.
Anytime you saw him.
Yeah. Hey, Billy.
Yeah.
Where's Billy?
Yeah, yeah. Him and Chris Farley, like, you can always count on a good performance, right? Like, who would eat all the school lunches?
Right. I'll tell you who. It's that Dan Sasquatch. That's who. I love it, man.
Oh, yeah.
Adam
The
Sandler movies are they're so what I appreciate about them is that there's no thought process to them
Aw,
whatsoever.
man, they're just funny, and they
Yes.
didn't care, they were irreverent, like, when he made fun of the little kid for not reading.
Right. Today, Junior.
Oh my god, I don't know how many times in the military I did that to people.
I loved
"Attention
it,
to
man.
orders. Today, junior."
It'll come back and bite me in the ass at some point, I'm sure. But you know what? I had fun. Screw it. Um,
Oh, yeah.
so yeah, unfortunately, for those let me just go, what up there, Ryan? Uh I we had a power surge here about an hour before the show. And Lou and I, as we always do, get to talking about everything under the sun pre-show, and I didn't realize that that power surge had screwed things up. So we weren't streaming to our normal channels. It got streamed to some other channels for some reason. I don't know. So I think we've got it fixed. But I tell you that to also say that we were supposed to have a guest tonight. Not sure what happened. She was, or is, because I'm assuming she's still alive. She's a psychic medium slash someone who's done some stand up comedy before. Um, so I was really hoping it would have been a very entertaining show. And as a matter of fact, I spoke to her today, so I'm not sure if maybe she got the time zones mixed up, whatever. Anyway, now everybody's caught up. Please proceed, Lou.
I don't remember what I was talking about,
Oh,
but
there's a
I'm
big
sure
surprise.
it was important, and it was life altering, and I suggest all of you click the back button.
After the show. No, we were talking about Norm Macdonald and comedians
Yeah,
and
yeah, these
and
other guys. Now talk about classic staple movies, right? You have, Animal House.
yes,
Right? Andy, you're a little older than me. So
thanks.
I did it in reverse order, right? I saw all the movies and then that bit off Animal House, and then I watched
Oh.
Animal House going, "Oh man, they stole that. They stole that. They stole that." Right? Whereas you got to see Animal House and then see all the theft. I
Right.
saw the theft first.
So, basically, what you're telling me is that, you watched Carlos Mencia before you ever watched Joe Rogan.
Yeah, right, right. Exactly. Mind of Mencia.
Oh, Billy's got a good point. Maybe she foresaw the power surge and just figured we weren't gonna be on. Ooh.
Oh man, well, we need to play that tape a little further.
Right? You know what's funny is when I sent her an email yesterday, I said, "I'm looking forward to really looking forward to talking about this topic, but I'm sure you already knew that."
Right, right.
You know, that reminds me, I wanna go you see all these, like, especially in Florida, man, they're all over the place, these psychic medium, get your
Well,
palm read or whatever.
let me ask you an interesting question. There are some famous people, and we always wonder how do they get famous, right?
Mm.
What makes these people famous, right? Do you remember what Alex Jones is famous for before he had a show?
Re
Before he got huge with the supplements and everything?
no.
He accurately predicted, and it's all a matter of record and on tape. You can call me crazy, whatever. But he knew planes were going to fly into the World Trade Center on July 28th, and that we would blame a man called Osama bin Laden. And he tried to call the White House and warn them. It's
Now,
on tape. It's on record.
how the hell could he have known that?
I don't know. But anyway, that's how we know Alex Jones.
Wow.
He thinks he channeled something. It came to him in a dream. He says it came to him in a dream, right? And people say, it's channeling, it's whatever. No one can explain it. He can't explain it.
It
He just on July 28th said planes are going to fly into the World Trade Center and we will blame a man called Osama bin Laden.
that's not weird at all.
So anyway, when you talk about like mediums channeling things like that, You know, fun fact. The Sandy Hook denier. And I like to take Joe Rogan. You mentioned Joe Rogan earlier. He gives him the out of when you start to uncover conspiracies daily, you start to see conspiracies everywhere, even in
Sure.
places they are not.
It's
And
the
that's what happened. He
same.
was heavily drinking, and he fell into that trap of his own making. And I'm not excusing him. I'm not saying anything. All I'm saying is it's highly believable he would go off the rails. But if you're wondering how he got there in the first place,
Alcohol.
yeah.
Well, he didn't help his cause with the whole Sandy Hook thing.
No, no, he doesn't. And he does have some weird things out there, but then you like you start digging and these things start to come out. And I mean the crazy thing about Alex Jones is he's right just enough to go, you know?
Yeah, but is he really that right? I mean, even a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then.
That's why I say it's just enough to go, hmm.
He's
But
he in my opinion, he's entertaining, and that's as far as it goes. I think he's crazier than a
oh, I don't
shithouse
get
rat.
I don't get news from him, but
I
I'll
don't
but I'll
either.
but I'll be honest with you. That's why I don't think he's crazy. I don't think he's crazy. I think he's very calculated. I think alcohol if that's true,
Mhm.
alcohol is a demon I struggled with, and I know the crazy shit it makes you do and the crazy
You
lengths you go to defend it, right? So
you
I'm
and me
just
both. Yep.
just saying, I know the demon that is, so if he was fighting that demon, I could believe all that nonsense. But I just again, I don't go for him for I don't go to him for news, but remember when he was talking about gay frogs?
Yeah.
Okay,
They're
so
turning all the frogs gay.
it was so funny, they were laughing about it, but just last year, they were making fun of Alex Jones on Glenn Beck, and they were talking about how and then you get a CIA report talking about experiments on changing the sex of frogs. He's like and you're like, "Was this guy on it the whole time?" That's why I say, he hits the nail just enough, like the Simpsons thing, right? I mean, there's so many Simpsons episodes, of course they predict stuff.
Right.
That's why I say he hits it just enough to where you're like, "Is this one of them or not?" I don't
This
know. It'll be interesting to see.
the sad thing is that, why the symptoms are predicting things is because they pick the most ridiculous shit that you would never think would be possible. But yet, this country, I mean, we're calling dudes that wanna be chicks, chicks, and vice versa.
Isn't that
We
insane?
we are so upside down right now. You've got all these pro-Palestinian protests all over these college campuses, man.
Yeah.
They don't even know what they're protesting for, man. It's
Nope.
just, I know, jump on the bandwagon.
No, they were
It
asking,
I
like
agree with Billy. The Simpsons seem to be more accurate with predictions, but I gotta tell
yeah.
you, the only time I've really ever watched Alex Jones is when he's been on either Rogan's podcast or, um, he's been on Kill Tony once or twice, and
I'll be honest with you, I have never seen Alex Jones, an episode of Alex Jones. The only reason I'm familiar with these things is all the other news I consume that
mhm,
brings it up.
yeah.
So that's the only thing I know. I can honestly say in my lifetime, if I were held down, gun to head, I have never listened to a segment longer than I'll go generous. I've never listened to a segment longer than 10 minutes.
Well, I gotta tell you, man, when he's on Rogan, he and Rogan have been friends for a long time,
Yes, I know that.
and so you kind of you kinda see the onion peel back a little bit when he's on there because you know how it's like you and I right now. Yeah, we don't have millions of people watching, but there are people watching,
Yeah.
and we kinda tend to forget that because it's just you and I talking. So he kinda opens up a little bit, and you get to see a little bit of the real Alex Jones, and I'm telling you, he's crazy, man. He's fucking crazy.
Well,
And
again, Joe Rogan's the one who says, man, when you're uncovering heinous things that are true on a regular basis, and that's Joe Rogan's comment about Alex Jones,
mhm.
not mine. When you're uncovering heinous things that turn out to be true on a regular basis, you start to see heinous things where they are not.
It's
Where they
true,
are not.
man. It's true. I
You
mean,
start to see it everywhere.
Look at the word
That guy,
racist.
yeah, they say like he's got info on this like child predator stuff. Like other people have talked about it. You know, like he has info on it. Like other people have info on it. You know,
Mhm.
I'll tell you. Let me let me throw this out. I need to tell you something that irritates the crap out of me, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on it or anyone else if they want to call in or whatever. But you know, I can't stand when people say, you know, I have evidence, and if X Y happens, I'm gonna release those names. Man, you ain't man. Are you serious? Like you're gonna make us all wait? Like, are you for real?
Yeah.
Like, I've seen the client list. So, you know who irritates me the most about it? I'm gonna tell you, and it's because you know I'm a big fan, and I will 100% admit I want to believe as well. You know, so that drives a lot of what I do. But I'm a huge UFO guy, love it, want to
Yeah.
believe it. You know, I'm into it. I'm down with it. It doesn't affect my life. But anyway, you got that one guy though who's on Congress, like, yeah, I have all the top secret stuff. I have everything.
David
I've
Grush.
seen it all. Yeah. And I'll show you in the skiff. Man, oh, you know what? You know what then? You know, here's my thing about him. He should be immediately deplatformed by anyone with a conscience and just say, no, no. If you have evidence, you come to the people. You work for us, buddy. You work for
S
us.
so in defense of that, he did come. He is the whistleblower, right? But there's still you still have to maintain he's gotta protect himself too, because if he were to come out with that, they would they'd send him his ass to jail for treason and espionage for releasing national secrets.
Okay, I
Whether they're
think
right
I,
or they're wrong,
I agree with you. I think he'd be pardoned in the next presidency immediately because
yes, but yeah, I
what it
mean,
would cause, the
you're taking
revolution, you know, the thing that it would cause, right? There'd be a revolution, I think.
you're taking an awful big risk though, man.
I mean, he
There's a
does, but
chance there's a chance Trump's not getting in office. A big chance.
well, I mean, there might be a big chance Trump's not getting off. I'm not talking about Trump. I'm talking. It doesn't matter once you
Do
put that
you
information out and the people have it, and we know, and it's open source and it's done.
do you
That's. I
really
mean, then the
think
next person in that's going to become like a siren call to
yeah,
people on a political side. Hey, you better let that guy go.
if you think for a second that Biden would pardon him, or God forbid,
No,
Kamala
no, the
Harris,
next president after he does it.
I understand
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
but there's, if he would have done
Let me.
it so if he would have done it
Yeah,
right, like you're saying,
yeah.
and come
He
out,
did it tonight.
this just started over a year ago, well
Let's say
over a
he did
year
it
ago,
tonight and Biden wins re-election.
right? He'd be rotting in jail for the next, well, 2 years because Biden ain't gonna make the full 4.
So what you think is all that evidence, all that information comes out, it confirms everything that he says, right? There is life and we do have saucers and we're reversing the engineering. So he puts all that out to us and tells the world, and you don't think the world would put political pressure on Biden to let that man go?
I don't think he would live long enough.
Huh?
Somebody'd kill him.
I think so too. I think so too. So what does that tell you? You know
He's
what it
he's
tells
already
me?
he's already had death threats to his
What it tells
family,
me is he should have shut his mouth then and never said anything. He should have just shut his mouth. If you're not gonna come with anything,
or
shut your mouth and stay there then.
leak it.
Again, a coward. Those people irritate the crap out of me. You know, if you have something, but you're gonna allow some criminality to continue, you know, I mean, no court in the world would accept that defense from me. Why should I
Right.
accept it from them? That's what I don't understand, you know. And this complete. And I'll tell you one thing I do agree with Tucker Carlson on. He's been on this theme for the last couple months. You know, this mistrust of the American people, this lack of faith in the American public, this everything has to be classified. I've been saying for years, you know, there's no such thing as an informed voter. Who's informed? Everything's
That's right.
classified. You don't know anything. What do you know about Ukraine? You know what I know about Ukraine? A guy named Putin invaded a place called Ukraine. That's all I know. After
You
that, it's
you
all been lies. It's all been lies, misdirection. There was no island where they defended against the Russians. The
uh,
Russians never.
I'll tell you what I know about Ukraine. Whatever the government wants me to know.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. That's why I said there's no informed vote. What do I know about Israel and Hamas and Gaza and anything? You know what? You know what I know? There was a Sykes-Picot agreement where the British and the French fucked over the Ottoman Empire, split the. I know a lot. Okay, I'm
Right.
still uninformed.
Right.
Okay, because I don't know what they're doing right now, and
Well,
that's what I'm being asked to vote on.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that UFOs are real.
Oh yeah, I think
Now,
everybody would say UFOs are real. I could fire one off my roof right now.
right. I don't know that they're alien. All I know is there's shit that's been captured on video and multiple eyewitnesses that we don't know what it is. And so by pure definition, yeah, they're real. They exist. And until either tell me it's ours or it's somebody else's or, you know, we don't know what the hell it is. But I agree with you, man. I'm tired of the American people being treated like a bunch of idiots by these so-called ivory
Yeah.
tower residents who think we're too stupid to be able to handle anything.
Think about this. 30 years ago, if you thought the government was lying to you, you were a conspiracy theorist,
Right.
right? If I said, "Man, the government's lying to you," they'd be like, right now you say that right now. What's the general reaction if you say if you don't say that, if you don't believe the government's lying to you? People are like, "You awake, buddy?"
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
like now we in 30 years we went from you're a conspiracy theorist to like if you don't think the government's lying to you, you're an idiot. So we all like this is polled, right? Like we all think the government's lying to us, and we're all down with it. We're all okay. I mean, it's okay, man.
Right.
It's cool. It's cool.
It's it's obvious. But going back to the point where we're being treated like idiots,
Yeah,
I guarantee you I'm smarter than a lot of those motherfuckers in Congress. Ilhan Omar, AOC, um, Maxine Walters. That chick's an idiot. Um, so
Dan
quit.
Crenshaw.
Yeah, oh yeah, man. Boy, that's somebody that I'm not even going there. Um,
That guy legislates like he wears the patch over the good eye.
that's right.
The hell is wrong with him?
A lot. But anyway, yeah, so they're real. I
I
just
stole
don't know
that
what
joke
they
from
are.
Dennis Miller, by the way.
What's that?
I stole that joke from Dennis Miller.
Which one?
The patch.
Oh,
Do you remember when he used to do NFL commentary?
yeah.
Yeah, he said, "These are the Raiders tonight. They're playing like they got the patch over the good eye." I was pissing myself.
Oh my god. He's funny.
Oh,
I
anyway.
still think I'd put Norm Macdonald above him though any day.
Yeah, I would.
Any
I
day.
certainly stand up wise, certainly.
Yeah.
But the thing that always appealed to me about Dennis Miller is, I would go look jokes up. I would have to. I was like, I don't understand that, man. And I would have to
Yeah.
go get it, and then I would research it, and it'd usually be fun. It'd be something fun. I'd be like, "Oh, now I get it," like, "Oh, that's pretty," and I learned something.
He's definitely a highbrow comedian.
Oh man,
But when I want to just be entertained and I just want to
yes,
laugh,
yeah. Oh,
I
certainly,
need lowbrow comedy
certainly.
for sure.
Now,
Uh,
when you talk about lowbrow, did you ever hear the Boston comic, Stephen Wright?
oh yeah, he's
I
great.
always enjoyed his comedy. I just thought I was now he was another one who would make you think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I bought
very
some
monotone.
I bought some powdered water,
Yeah,
but I didn't know what to add to it.
right, right. I named my dog Stay. He's very confused. Come here, Stay. Come here, Stay. Come here, Stay. I'm gonna have to take him back.
did
It's like-
did he die?
I don't think he's dead. I don't know what he's doing. I bought a comedy special of his a while back. And
He's
that was just
hilarious, man.
yeah, oh yeah. I built my house in the middle of our street.
Who was the guy? Was it Mitch Hedstein? Was that his name?
I don't know.
He was super funny. He died way too young,
Oh
man.
yeah, yeah. They do, man. A lot of them, they have that like John Candy. I mean,
Yeah. So comedy's a weird animal, man. Most of the people that have been greatly successful, especially in the stand-up world, have had horrible, tragic fucking lives, man.
or had back shots taken on him by the producer if you listen to Cat Williams.
Yeah, right, right. But it's so funny. On one of the other podcasts that I produce, we had a gentleman on that we're going to get him on this show. It was a great episode. But man, hearing his life story, holy smokes, man! And now he's found a way to use humor to get through that kind of tragedy
Yeah.
that he suffered. And I don't want to say too much because I want to get him on the show. Um, and I won't do his story justice. The way you hear him tell it, you're just like, what the how are you still alive, dude?
Oh,
You know what I mean? But it's inspirational from hell. But funny dude, and all look at all the drug abuse, and
sure.
the addiction and how they take that and they turn that shit. The dumb shit that just think back to when you were drinking back when you were a young sailor, right?
Mhm.
The dumb things that you did that you could have used as comedic gold telling a story.
Oh, man.
Having people laugh at your expense is it's a pretty good recipe for success.
Yeah, telling a narrative,
Right, right,
taking people on a journey.
right. And you have that gift.
Nah,
You
sometimes.
you are a masterful
I
storyteller.
have to be interested in it.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
and weird things catch my and interest is fading in and out.
Yeah,
And
same here,
things
man.
catch my interest, and then, something else like, I'm because of that UFC fighter talking about, Eric von Mises and the theories of economic. Did you hear about that?
No.
There's like a, um it's like Russian or Slavic type, culture won a fight, and, he was like, "I love America," and then he's like, "Fucking property rights, and, you gotta have your stuff, and, you people that want communism, you need to read Eric von Mises' Six Theories of Economics," and, like, he was, like, basically, like, lectured,
See ya,
"Yeah, hey,
Billy.
yep," and then, went off, and so I was like, "Oh, man, I don't know that. Let me go get that." This guy who clearly wasn't born here is
So,
lecturing me on economic theory, and that's really good. Um,
right back down another rabbit hole.
exactly, because yep, right out of the supernatural rabbit hole and the Rosenkreutz and all the secret society rabbit holes I was in 2 months ago, and right down the economic theory rabbit hole.
It's
Why
crazy,
not?
man.
What else am I doing?
So tell me more about, I wanna know more about you wanting to do an open mic night.
Oh no, I just got challenged for that. Remember, I was in the pit. One of the guys I worked with made a bet with me by June. By June, I had to sign up, but then the pandemic hit.
That's
There's
right.
there's a little comedy club down here that'll I forget how much it is, but you pay them and you get, like 3 months of classes or something,
Oh, really? Hmm,
and it culminates with your class doing a show at that club.
got it.
Like, so so you work your material, you learn and work your material,
Mhm.
and then when the class is over, you do the show.
That would be cool.
I thought so.
Oh,
I
you
think it
know
was like
what?
500 bucks, 500 or 550 bucks for the whole thing.
I have to say this now before I forget, and you were supposed to remind me, but,
Oh, yeah.
so maybe coming up very soon, probably end of May, we're going to take a hiatus from the show. And that's because number one, in June is our annual Wounded Warrior Umpire Academy training event. So that's, the course is 10 days and there's travel time to and from, and, staff and instructors need to be there early. So we just won't have time to do the show. And most importantly, Lou's gonna be going through as a student this year,
Yay.
which I am super excited about.
Me too.
I think you're gonna love it, man. I really do. Um, so I need to put that out there, and I'll post a couple things periodically. But so probably, well, shit, probably mid-July, early mid-July, we'll get back to it, depending.
Yeah. And then who knows? Maybe between here and there, if I get my stuff together, we might have a little content we can drop to fill in.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, that's a great idea. We should probably pre-record a couple episodes, and
Yeah, there's lots of stuff we've been kicking around. I mean, if you don't mind, I'll share a
yeah,
little bit. We've been kicking around Ask a 12-year-old. We both have 12-year-olds. So we're thinking about pre-recording a set, not asking live, but just having it
right.
recorded. One question, get their answer. But we're still trying to figure out if the question should be easy or like super complex.
I think super
I
complex.
think so too. I think that's gonna get the best answer.
Yeah, totally.
Um, but same question, both kids get the answer and then throw it up there. You maybe some current event type deal. But incorporate that into the show. And then we were looking at some we're looking at some movies in the public domain and war movies, and we're gonna take a crack at some riff tracks there and see what we can do to some of the old war movies in the public domain. And maybe we'll get content like that out to tide you over till we're back in July.
Yeah, it'll be fun and entertaining, and well, let's just face it, probably stupid too, but
Give
stupid
us a
in a
chance.
funny way.
Yeah, and give us all a chance to hang out.
Yeah, for sure. But I definitely need to get that out. I can't believe I forgot all the way up until this point.
Yeah.
I got my pen and paper out because I want to take a note of something you said earlier. I completely forgot because when I picked up the pen, I looked at the paper and it says, "Hey, dummy, remember to tell them about remember to tell them about the hiatus." So
That's right. That's right.
so now I don't remember what I was going to write down earlier. Yeah,
Just listen to the show again.
yeah, whatever.
Do you ever do that? Sometimes I do.
Yeah, yeah, I do actually. Not all of them, not all the time, but yeah,
Right, right. Yeah, occasionally I toss it on. If there's not too many curses,
right.
you
Which
know?
I think we've been doing pretty good with.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
It's
And then the
hard
guest drives a lot of that too,
for sure.
which we don't mind. If you're thinking about becoming a guest coming on here, a lot of them always ask, like, "Are there any words we can't use?" I'm like,
No, but we always ask that too. Is there anything off limits?
Yeah, that's true too. That's one thing that I like about what we do is people get a chance to talk, and if there's something they don't want to talk about, all right, I'm not
Yeah,
here to push.
we're not the gotcha type of people.
Yeah, not here to to get
However,
a hot take.
right.
I hate that.
However, if there is something that is I vehemently disagree with, I'm gonna let you know. You'll get your platform. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Doesn't doesn't mean I have to agree with it, or you for that matter. But
that's right. That's
I
right.
I do remember when I was still doing the show with Vinny and Steezel, we had a oh God, how do there's no way to sugarcoat it. He was an extreme left leaning liberal, and everything in the pre-show was great. We're laughing and joking, and everything's fine. And then he gets on, and they start talking politics. And Vinny brings up a labor and statistics quote uh, regarding Trump, and this guy lost his mind.
Oh,
He called us Nazis, assholes. He left the show. First guest I've ever had that
because of
just
Trump.
yeah. So if you're going to tell me Trump derangement syndrome isn't real, I'm gonna just call you a
Well,
liar.
here's what I don't understand. I mean, if you have a problem, if you have a severe problem with Trump being president, if you have a severe problem with Joe Biden being president, then you don't have a problem with those people. Okay. You're shallow. You don't know what's going on. You probably shouldn't vote. Okay. The problem is the office.
Right.
Okay. The office is the issue. That office is consolidating way more power than it should ever have. Okay. That's the problem. And it doesn't matter who's in there, it still has too much power. It doesn't matter.
I
When
agree.
you this is just my opinion. That office is power and authority. When you elect somebody to it, the most you should feel is, oh man, that's gonna suck. All
Yeah.
right. All right. Let me bunker. Okay. I mean, just get ready for when we get a chance in 4 years.
One of the other things that I can't stand is well, not my president. No, you moron, it is your president. And regardless of your feelings of that particular individual, you still need to respect the office.
I,
Uh, Biden, whether I like him or not, he's my president.
yeah.
Period. And if you can't get on board with that, go live somewhere else because I guarantee within a month, 2 months, maybe even a year for you really hard-headed fools out there,
Yeah.
you'll be coming back. I guarantee it.
And I'll just say, well, I get it. We've come to a point in life where all of us seem to be talking in generalizations because it's just easier. It's lazier,
Right.
but we have to start using the correct language, when we're referring to these people. So when you say not my president, now he's your president. I didn't vote for him.
Right.
I won't vote for him.
Right.
Okay, it's the same thing. We had this conversation, I think, 2 weeks ago, and then again, I try to bring it up every time, right? Because I think it's one of the best examples I've come across to illustrate the point. If you said the Earth was flat, you'd be wrong. If you said the Earth was round, you'd be wrong. So blade,
Right.
right? And
Right.
like, and again, that's roundish, but it ain't round. We have to
Well,
start using the correct terms. The
you
Earth
you
is not round; it's oblate.
you are correct. You even hit on it with the laziness aspect of it. The problem is people are speaking in generalizations because they're not educated any further than generalizations. And
Sure.
why are they not educated? Because they're too lazy to
Yes.
research it.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why I think it's important that if you want to be involved, you have to get educated, you have to understand the issues, to do these things. But I think it's important though that when we talk to people, we use correct language, and I think that's
I
now
agree.
now to come back around to almost 2 years ago. Matt Walsh's "What is a Woman?" Right? It's important. It's important to have the definition of a woman because it's important to know the language we are using in negotiation. We
Mhm.
have to have same definitions.
Right.
Otherwise, otherwise you run into what happened in Afghanistan, right?
Yeah.
We all say justice is, we need justice in Afghanistan. Karzai, you good? You good? Yeah, I'm good. Hey, you good? Yeah, all right. Well, we're good. Everybody good? Justice? Yeah, justice in Afghanistan. Great. All right. Next day they're chopping heads off. Whoa.
That's their justice.
Yeah, we forgot to define what justice was. Forgot to
So,
define how to do that.
yeah, we could really go down a long tangent on that one.
I think so.
I know so because, whenever we go to these foreign lands, we always just automatically assume that, you know what? Hey, forget about your thousands of years of customs.
Yeah,
You're going to do our way now. And
yeah.
and how arrogant is that?
Well, you're going to apply, and the other thing is, you're looking at Western, I forget who said it to me, but once they said it to me, it changed my whole worldview. So I'll share it with all of you. You're evaluating a Middle Eastern country through Western eyes.
Exactly.
you
Exactly.
I always go back to an example. Our team pulled up on a village, like, hey, we'll come back, around, you know, 8 a.m. What do you think? Like, man, that dude's like, I don't know what an 8 a.m. is, man.
Right?
I get up when the sun's up. 'Cause, as you can tell, you can't see shit here when it's not.
Right. Well,
There's no power. I go hunt my food, and if I find it early, I get to recreate. If I don't, I stay out till I can't see anymore, and then I come home again. He's like, "So,
okay,
you can come
Ahmed.
here anytime you want, whatever that means. If I'm here, we'll
Listen,
talk. If I'm not, we won't."
listen, Ahmed. When the brown goat pisses on the left post,
Yeah.
that's when we'll be back.
Well, I'm just thinking though, I just, like he's talking about that through our interpreter, and I'm just sitting here thinking, man, who is the dummy? This thing runs my life, man.
Right?
Who is the dummy?
Yeah.
Man, this guy's like, look, I get up, I find my food, I come home. I find the
Dude,
food for the day, I come home. I'm like, well, that me, I'm slaving away, man. I'm like, I gotta be when I was working, I gotta be there by 8. I gotta.
that's why I love going to the outdoors and camping as much as I do because yeah, I basically check out.
Yeah.
for the time that I'm out there. I throw my watch, put my phone off, uh, it's nice, man. And if I need to send an email real quick, I've got it. But for the most part, dude, I'm out there to get away from all this nonsense. So there's something to be said for that, man. Just living your life, meal to meal, literally.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
in those people's cases.
I'm gonna
But
be looking for, very soon, like, to conduct an experiment. I'm
uh-oh.
gonna be looking to see if in the next, well, I mean, obviously, things are changing very, very rapidly, very, very rapidly. They say, the combined, time it took to do the Industrial Revolution, to go through that entire, phase of our development is gonna occur within the next 10 years, right? Like, it's like, that's how
That's
fast, like
well, that's because David Grush is leaking secrets now.
yeah. But it's just funny, man. I was thinking, I'd like to go off the grid when I feel like it. Meaning, um, a car that doesn't have GPS, leave my phone at home and a watch, right?
Mhm.
And a regular watch that doesn't take radio signals or satellite anything, right? Just and then can I move around? And I here's what I'm curious about. How long is it going to take for somebody to come knock and say, "Where you going? What are you doing?"
A long time
Probably.
because, no one's reporting you missing.
Well, and nobody cares about me. But once you're off, like I wonder, like once I'm off, like um I don't know, it's really hard to go off. It's really, really hard. You have to have a car before 1995, or 93, I think was what they say. You have to have, you can't carry your watch, your cell phone, my diabetes meter.
You could Faraday all that stuff.
So that's the other thing I was working on too was, a way to Faraday your car.
Interesting.
That little fin, that satellite antenna.
Mhm.
I'm trying to come up with a contraption that can go over it and, suction cup to your car.
Nice.
But it's not, I'm not smart.
You're not getting any radio either.
You won't get anything.
Nope.
But well, what I'm hoping is you don't get anything to the car,
Right.
right? So that you could leave your phone home, and then, move around. But again, I don't know, because I'll tell you what'd be cool to start messing with their, because here's the thing, right? If they're relying on tracking data for crime, right, and you want to be a criminal, if they look up your tracking data and your car just appears places with no route, okay, that's unreliable. They can't follow that tracking data.
Right.
Can't do anything with that.
That's why you steal somebody else's car.
Well, so so that's why I said, like, you have to think about it, right? Like one of the truck drivers was talking to me about how they used to do runs back in the day when they had illegal loads or heavier loads than they were supposed to. They'd go test drive a car at the dealer and throw the dealer tags on and take them down the highway. Right? And then, you can't have dealer tags on a truck, so they'd be getting pulled over, arguing, and then running away,
Hmm.
but they said that's what they would always do. They'd rent these cars, throw the dealer tags on, and that way, if they ever got pulled over, the dealer. But I was thinking,
Interesting.
like, you can't do any of that now. Like,
No.
everything is, show your ID, picture, scan, barcode,
We are on the precipice of full-blown 1984.
Oh, I think yeah, I'm pretty sure it's there. That's why I
Uh,
was saying, like, if I figure out how to Faraday my car, I wonder how long before somebody comes out and says, "Hey, you can't do that." Because and you know what? You know who I bet would pick up on it long before the police picked up on me fucking with the tracking data?
the dealer.
I bet the dealer would. I bet the dealer would pick up on it because they would start thinking there's an error in the software.
Yep.
And then I think the first thing that would come out is it would be in the contract that in order to buy the car in the future, you cannot do this to your car. And
Right.
then the police are going to be notified and asked to pass a law saying if you're caught caging your stuff, you're interfering with the workings of the car. It's unsafe to operate, is what will come. That's
Yeah.
what will be said. Unsafe.
That's how they
So for
get you.
your safety, we must know where you are at all times because, right? Mark this episode.
You know what that means?
Yeah.
It's time for our Veterans Helping Veterans segment. That's right. So you brought up a great idea tonight. Tunnel of the Towers
Tunnels to Towers.
Foundation. I tried to look it up here briefly. I know a little bit about it. As a matter of fact, I think our good friend Kevin Bittenbender is takes a big role in that. We've had Kevin on the show before. He is a below the knee amputee, uh, multiple deployments, retired sergeant major, the whole shebang. But I know he's heavily involved in that. It's a great organization. Look him up. You know, it's T, the letter T, the number two, the letter T.org. T2T.org. It's kind of like teabag almost, huh?
Yeah, they build houses for vets, smart homes, great, fully paid, fully furnished, vet owes nothing, you know,
They they do it
changing vets' lives, giving them back a lot of their independence.
for sure. It's like so many of the other great organizations that we've highlighted here week after week. So please go back, watch the episodes, and if for nothing else, I don't care if you just fast forward through to get to the Vets Helping Vet segment. We forget a lot of stuff because we just forget a lot of stuff. But one thing we never forget is to highlight our veterans organizations. So please check them out. Go back and check out all the past episodes, get the information, support if you can. Um, and I know Lou's dying to say this, so I'm going to steal his thunder. Go ahead and click that like, subscribe, and comment
That's right.
in the bottom. Stole your thunder, fool. Anyway, so glad of our guest to show up. Thank you so much. Oh wait, we don't have one.
No, hey, stick around
No.
after this.
Yeah. Wait, what? But she already knows that apparently.
That's right. Yeah.
So too bad, man. I had a lot of man. I really, really wanted to.
What if she had a vision that the interview was going to go horribly wrong and she avoided us?
Well, then maybe she's legit.
I don't know. Yeah, that's true.
Oh well, I did get an email from her earlier today asking if it was audio only or video, and I said video. So maybe she like
Panicked.
panicked. But I mean, when people say they want to be on the show, I send them a form and it explains everything. So
And
you
besides,
can.
it's completely understandable. I'm pretty sexy in this gay bullseye I'm fashioning now.
You mean that reverse Hitler mustache you
My
got going on?
goatee, yeah, my goatee where the middle slipped down.
Oh
It
my
like
god,
it like fell off.
that is so
Like
redneck
dropped.
genetics, man. What the
Uh,
hell?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I get the
Anyway,
range.
any last words before we close it out?
See you guys next week.
All right. Are you ready to read our
I don't have,
what?
we don't have to.
Yeah, we do because I haven't edited yet.
Oh
'Cause we
man.
did
Yeah,
that right
hold
before
on.
the
I was
show,
all
remember?
excited. Hold on. I got it right here. Wait, do I?
I don't know. You had it.
I did have it. Hold on.
Oh, hey, you know what? While you're looking for that, I wanted to give a shout
I
out.
got it.
So I had an issue with I just bought a camper. Blue knows this. Just bought a
Yeah.
camper. I was installing a backup camera on it, and the brake lights went out. All the power to the rear portion of the trailer went out, but the front portion worked. I couldn't figure it out. All the fuses were fine, both in the trailer and the Jeep. I had a buddy of mine who's an engineer come look at it. He couldn't figure it out either. So I brought it in, and I just want to give a shout out to the dudes at Travers St. Louis RV Service Center, both Andrew and Matt, because man, they got it in there, got it taken care of. It was in and out. It was painless, and good bunch of dudes. So hey, shout out to those guys. All right, you ready to get out of here?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. All right, everybody, we will catch y'all next week. Good night, everybody.
You're listening to Nothing's Off the Table with Andy and Lou and Admiral Media Productions podcast. All information at the time of recording is mostly accurate. Comment below, give 5 stars. All rights reserved.